Hi everyone, this is Saurabh and I am part of the C4E collective and the SOG group. This is the bad bunch from SOG talking about, I don't know what, over the next 30, 45 minutes or maybe an hour or longer. I don't know how long this goes. In today's session, we have with us a lot of people. It's too difficult to give each one's introduction. And that's where we are.
People here.
So how do we solve it? So how do we solve a distribution? That's a question that I've been struggling to find an answer for like 5 years now. Some people are so good that they do it in like 1 year. They are like at million followers, million people, and so on and so forth. I've not been able to identify how to do this. If anybody has any ideas, thoughts, I would love to hear from you.
I'll share 7 pieces of content for you on Sunday. You'll record that video, 60 seconds, share it with me. I'll edit that and I will upload one content every day.
But that is not distribution. No, my question remains: how do I solve for distribution? That is content delivery, content creation, content posting. But how do I solve for distribution?
But if you have experience and you're delivering content regularly, you can.
Rohit's trying to say consistency is the way. Rohit is giving you an answer, which is consistency.
Consistency. So here's the thing, right? It'll become a personal rant because it has to go on the internet, so I will not talk about it. But I have been consistent a lot over the last few for a lot of things in the times gone by. But I haven't seen, to be honest, a lot of results. So I'm not sure if that is my my spiel. But I could be wrong. So consistency is one. What else? How else?
Saurabh, you told me that long ago you had like brilliant reach and everything on Twitter. And you could talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Were you consistent then, or what was it? What worked for you?
I think there were very less people on Twitter back then, and there were no celebrities there. So common people were talking to common people, and now Twitter has become that place wherein only celebrities and these big accounts have come in and started to own that, and nothing wrong with it, right? I mean, that's okay, cool for them. But what has happened is that people like me who are average Joes are not able to get enough traction. So that's my thought. That's my perspective. I could be wrong about this because a lot of average Joes like me have been able to build large audiences of themselves on Twitter as well. So I don't know the answer. I mean, I honestly don't know how these algorithms work. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could, I could create those dancing videos in fancy places that I go to and put them up, because that seems to be working a lot. So that's my thought. I don't know the answer for other people.
I think for common person like us, long video content is the way, because in shorter format, kitne views aa jaye, but you don't get that conversion. I used to get like 15,000-16,000 views, 2-3 followers बढ़ते थे. It was very demotivating. So conversion है ही नहीं.
So solution क्या है? This is a problem. What is the solution? We are bright people. We need to be able to find solutions.
Long format content on YouTube, where you will get that genuine connection with the audience.
Do people watch long videos on YouTube? All of you, do you watch long videos?
Yes.
Depends on the type of content, to be honest.
So which one would you watch? Like, tell me the last long video that you saw. Sarah?
Long video in the sense like 15-20 minutes, no?
No.
5-10 minutes.
1 hour?
Interesting insight.
Do you mean long videos which aren't YouTube shorts? Because YouTube themselves have the real thing.
Wait, 1 minute. What is long video? How long is a long video?
1 hour. 45 minutes.
No, that's okay. 1 second.
35 5-10 minutes.
15-20.
5 minutes.
45. Oh my God, there's a difference in what we
YouTube, 1 second. YouTube has a different distinction to long form content and short form content.
No, we're
So
asking
YouTube long form content is more than 1 minute. And like that the algorithm for long form content is very different. The ad revenue, which is the CRM that people get, is also very different from short form content, which is less than 1 minute.
Oh, forget that. 1 minute. Forget that. Forget YouTube. Fuck YouTube. I don't care about them. If I told you that I want you to watch a long form video, how many minutes of content would you want to see?
1 hour to 2 hours.
8 minutes.
40 minutes.
25 minutes.
10 minutes. 10
Okay,
to 15.
raise hand. Less than 10 minutes. Raise hand. Less than 10 minutes. Long form less than 10 minutes. Rohit, less than 20 minutes. Less than 40 minutes. Less than 1 hour. Wow. Okay.
Damn.
So the point is, Rohit, if you're saying that 5 minute ka video long form hai, so in my universe that is not long form, that is short video.
Got it.
How long is a TVC? Anybody wants to guess?
1 minute.
Okay. Anybody else?
How long is a
TVC, television commercial.
1 minute or 2 minutes max?
30 seconds.
30
30
seconds.
seconds.
Less than 2 minutes.
30 seconds to 1 minute. That's the window, right? So TVC is one of the most difficult pieces to write and connect with, and that's why those cred ads do really well, because they've been able to crack the formula in telling a great story in a great way in 1 minute. But anyways, हम कहीं और पहुंच गए. Coming back, we'll talk about this some other day. चांदनी दिख ले. Coming back, distribution का solution क्या है? A, consistency. What else? What else do you think is distribution? Vishal, you may have perspective because you think you've seen YouTube algorithms. So how have these big creators build distribution for themselves?
What do you mean by distribution?
Being able to reach more people.
So now it's very hard to develop a big YouTube audience. The people who upload shorts usually don't get a large YouTube audience. The major people who occupy the YouTube space as like kings and queens is basically people who started back in like Vine days, which is 2016. Now, if you want to get up to, you just have to write the upwards curve to get followers on YouTube. That's how it works, YouTube.
Okay.
And there's also other form of content.
Anybody else?
Question क्या है?
Bro, you ask the question. Nobody tell her.
Oh, अच्छा वही वाला. What is distribution and how to solve for it? I thought we are like making sub parts out of it.
No, we are trying to find answers. Bullet point number 1, consistency of content. What is bullet point number 2?
I think there is no bullet point number 2.
Reaction commentary content works.
Oh,
Okay,
YouTube has so YouTube is very analytical. People think like it's you can post good content and that works. It's not like that. So Mr. Beast has taught a class about YouTube analytics and how to gain followers at Harvard. So like there's an actual course that you can follow. So the major thing he highlights is thumbnails. He says that he spends like $10,000 on like one video's thumbnail to just design it. Then there's next thing that goes is consistently uploading, which is like one day one video. After a month, then that philosophy goes everywhere else also. You post very consistently, then slowly the followers come.
Okay.
And retention.
Sorry?
Retention. Like if you have like 8-minute video, people should watch at least 5 minutes, more than 50%. Then YouTube pushes it.
Okay.
Quality content. Sticky content. No.
How do you make sticky?
So yeah, I was watching a video from Varun Maya. He started a YouTube channel, he gained like 300,000 followers in like 2-3 months. So he said one thing, every 8 seconds we do something. Our attention diverts to something else. So हर 8 second में हमें ऐसा edit करना पड़ेगा. They hook into the video. So editing is very important in storytelling.
Okay.
This is why Netflix every 8 to 10 seconds you see camera angle changes, or there's something else, or background music changes, something happens.
Oh, I've heard Tanmay talk about it. Those transitions and all of that, zoom in, zoom out, whatever.
Okay, that's news for me. I did not know that. Okay, what else?
I think that general.
And also a lot of people say YouTube comments matter a lot, but YouTube don't recognize comments as a part of the algorithm. Only likes and retention.
Okay.
Not even subscribers. They don't even like recognize subscribers as much as likes or views, but they are trying to redesign the entire algorithm to come back to emphasize on subscribers.
Yes.
That's the thing, right? When they start focusing on subscribers, you can compare the same thing to viewers on your reels versus followers. You are getting as many views. That's instant gratification. I watch you, but I don't want to follow you. And so it's investment, right? When I'm subscribing to your content, then I genuinely am invested into what you're creating. But once in a while, I watch your video, it doesn't. I think that's what the algorithm is focusing on. The whole viewers to followers is very slow because of that only. Same thing with YouTube. Subscribe. You hardly subscribe. You're watching everything that comes there. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Any more answers?
Yeah, I think that you should be able to dive straight into the video. For example, Hank, have you watched Hank Green ke videos? I'm not sure if this is a good example, but if you watch Tanmay Bhatt ke vlogs, uh, no matter where you start watching it, you will be able to understand the context. You will be able to understand ki kya ho raha hai. You will be able to understand the main theme, no matter where you start watching the video. So I think that is also important. Ki if the viewer is forwarding many times, so he should be able to understand ki main theme kya hai video ka.
Okay.
Also, like length bhi hona chahiye. Like there's certain things, like for example, I think there was some guy, I don't know who said it, but he like that certain videos with like shorter, I think 8 minutes or 10 minutes is like people will like gravitate towards it, because again problem ये है कि people have like short lifespan नहीं, attention span.
Right.
So उनका so they don't want to like make that commitment of watching like 25 minutes 30 minutes unless they're like super interested in it. Like for example, people will like if Tanmay Bhatt posts like a 25-minute reaction video, but or even like Vox, for example. Vox did this really nice video documentary about Pakistan and like crisis and everything, and people who like watching that stuff will go for it. But you know, if you're watching something like PewDiePie or something who doesn't really, you don't want to hear him talk for 35 minutes or anything, you won't click on it. It will usually be like an 8-minute video or like a 7-minute video where you'll be like, okay, theek hai, I can take 8 minutes out of my schedule and watch this. So you should also know what kind of audience you're going for and unka attention span kya hota hai.
Okay.
I have a thought which I've been thinking about a lot. I think provocativeness works well on the internet, especially Twitter. And it's a conflicting thought because I may not want to be provocative on the internet, right? But I know that talking about things in a certain way, very strong opinions, this whole thing about hot takes, right? All of this has helped people reach more, like has helped to solve for distribution. The interesting part is that you can't do like one hot take and like solve for distribution forever. That's not it. But these people have chosen provocative as their method, right? They are saying the most simplest basic things in a way that you have to stop and read it. You'll either hate the opinion, you'll either love the opinion, or you'll feel something about it. You will think about it. Now that is conflicting because you're choosing to be that. It may not be your most authentic self. But I think provocativeness is something that's not talked about when we talk about distribution, but I've seen that a lot. Yeah.
But then, ठीक है, what do you call it? Anshika, that is also a good one. Any more thoughts? Provocativeness is fine, but at least it's not for me, but for other people it may work out because I'm very sure that I don't want to be doing that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I know for a fact it works, but I don't want to do it. So like I've seen it work. Anshika and I've spoken about this, by the way. A lot of people we spot on the internet with good distribution. We know for a fact that these things are being said for like because of an agenda and because they're also aware it works. And it doesn't feel like Anshika and I, we have talked about how we wouldn't do that, and there it's conflicting because sometimes when we see that work, we're like, oh fuck, we could have that too,
Controversy creates cash. There's a quote and
like I do, for example, I want all the distribution for myself for good reasons, but I would never talk about an opinion on the internet just because I know people feed off of it. I would never, for example, okay, I'll give you an example. Recently, I had a friend talk, like this friend put out a tweet about how people who have shitty relationships, so people who don't have good friends, people who don't have anybody, they are horrible people. Or something very.
Oh yes,
right?
I've read that.
Yeah, right. Now that was a very close friend, and he was curious about what I thought of that, and it was the same thing. This was not contextualized well. There is some truth to the fact that when people aren't able to keep relationships, there may be reasons for that, right? But for a fact that putting a line like that on Twitter gets you attention, and it did get attention. You're aware of that and you still do it. That I know has worked for people, and that is not my method. I'm sure now. Like, thank God, I'm sure. But that I've seen work, and that is one way. But it may not be the right way, but it is one. And That's what Anshika and I think we've discussed.
Average people generalizations sort of content.
Yeah,
Yes.
and hot takes without by the way, hot takes are good with context. Without context is what gets you attention, and that's what people have been doing a lot. I think
You remember how we also talked about that if you have to be on the internet, you have to take a side. You can't be in the middle. You there are like you
yes,
just have to take a really strong stand. I'm not saying it's a spectrum essa, but like
I cracked
a
that. By the way.
circle.
I
Yes.
cracked that, by the way. The good part, the way to do that is that exactly this, contextualize your thoughts. Today, if I'm invested into a Muskan, a Sarah, and maybe guessing I don't know you all, right? But how do I start following somebody on the internet? I like how they think. Everybody is almost talking about the same things, but I like how they talk about it. I like their thought process. And the second you're giving me an opinion, like a hot air quotes opinion, and not explaining how you feel about this, I don't care. Like, so it gets your attention. It gives you the urge to fight with it. I see a hot take on the internet. I have an opinion. I want to fight with it, but it doesn't get you invested into that person. So the middle ground is it's good to have opinions, but contextualize them. Tell people your thought process, not just okay because this will get famous. And that's the middle ground. At least I've found in this. So
Yes. No, makes sense. Anything with a story and like where you're coming from helps.
yeah. Just like genuine.
Okay, what else? I mean, I don't have a thought on this because I am somebody who's very, very averse for, I mean, I don't want to create controversy for the sake of doing that because that's not me as a personality.
Yeah.
Also, I am what Chandni and Anshika were talking about. I don't think I want to be in the middle ground. And there are a few things that I like, there are a few things I don't. I'll rather stay shut and not talk about it. But me, I don't even want to even fight for a middle ground. And that is why I'm not a big fan of, say, Mr. Bariku's of the world, because clearly a lot of things that he talks about are only for him and not for others, and it gets generalized, but not me, right? So that's my thought. So that's controversy. Let's probably create a fake account and create controversy and create distribution around it. So maybe that, why not? But what else can we do? That's a good point, Jani. Nobody talks about the distribution as an angle, but what else?
I think a lot also depends upon the framework or structure that you have in your video, because I've seen ki Nas Daily has a certain kind of his own authentic way of doing things. उसके videos काफी सही होते हैं. The audio, the video quality. There is someone called John Harris who does documentary, who does amazing work. I think one video per month or something like that. And you want to watch the entire video. You don't want to live it between. So well researched, well documented, and I don't know. In the sea of information, I think people have lost what's authentic, original, and good thing to consume. So if we can find that, Rohit,
They spend so much money on that.
Resources.
I think even oversimplified. Like if you ever heard of it, it's like this history channel, and I can't believe I'm talking about this, but a history channel made it really big. Like it got an audience which would never have, would you consider subscribing to something that only talks about wars and prohibition and everything? Most people who follow them don't, but they've made like history so interesting and honestly funny. Like they add jokes in there. It's all animated. So, and people use it for even kids use it for school projects and stuff. So they have I think like a 25-minute video that comes out, and it's usually part 1 of 2 or part 1 of 3, and like they release like these 3-part episodes every 6 months. And the thing is, they do it so well. It's all animated, it's all stick figures, and they explain world history. And you wouldn't expect something that just teaches about world history to gain so many subscribers. I think they have like 14 million or something at this point. But to have that done animated more lightly, I guess, and it explains everything, but not in a way that you're sitting in class, learning, like you want this period to get over. It's literally like somebody's telling you a story through like puppeteers or something like that. So even though your subject matter might not be extremely interesting to everyone, if you package it in a way that's sort of सबको पसंद आएगा, that will also help in like your just getting more eyeballs.
Okay.
Oh, I have a thought. You know how they say write for one particular person. Similarly, if you pick out one particular kind of person to create content for, and you create everything, you talk about everything that those people want to listen to and would like to consume. You start with a good community, engaged people who are interested in what you have to say. Then you have your starting, let's say 10,000 people, 1,000 people who are super boastful about, oh, ye content to bahut acha hai, whatever. And then word of mouth multiplies. And eventually you expand into other places. But if you start with this one very small niche, I think it would be a good thing to do.
Okay. Okay. What else? So I still don't have an answer to how to solve distribution, and I think distribution is an extremely important thing. My answer is probably spend enough time and let it compound. So all of you are young. So if all of you start creating content today, all of you start building an audience for yourselves today, maybe by the time you're my age, you would have a large distribution, and that would allow you to reap the benefits of it. I mean, for me, the most important component of distribution is not because I want to be heard by a lot of people, but because my distribution gives me immense power to be able to do things that I otherwise will not be able to. So I think that each of us needs to think really hard about how we can do a distribution for each of us and for each other. And that is what I really need to somehow find a solution for. I mean, for myself and for all of you. And I don't know this answer. So that's that. And before I move on, I have 3 minutes left before I have to go for another call. Any more, any questions that I can respond in like 3 minutes before I go? No. Okay. Rohit, do send me those topics. I'll try to record videos and then you can put them on YouTube and we'll see. And we'll take it from there. Yeah.
You want to create long format content or shorter, less than 60 seconds?
To भेजो को तो भेजना है, मैं देखता हूँ क्या करना है. I mean, when I start talking, I can't talk for less than an hour anyways. So
Exactly.
then chop it into smaller videos. You can see that. Cool. I'm going to take a leave. You people can continue, please. Thank you. I am sorry. I will see you people on Thursday. And this was yet another episode of Janhit Mein Jaari, where you heard people from Team SOC talk about whatever and shit and pata nahi kya kya. And stay tuned for the next episode that will drop to your screens on the next week. Till then, goodbye. Hasta la vista, baby.